they have realistic expectations of each other. For her to say to him, okay, this or that, or she gave him an ultimatum, that's not realistic. I think for men or women who date folks in the military, like that's something you have to get about that lifestyle, that it is a very mobile lifestyle. Even for couples who are married, when one person's already in the military and then they get to a location and the other person wants to stay there and not move, and the military says it's time to move, will strain a relationship. It will strain a marriage. And it doesn't matter if it's a marriage with kids or without kids. That will strain a marriage. So when I read that, Tyler was talking about transitioning and they were going to build this life together. But to me, and you tell me, Michelle, because you work with military members, I'm not so sure with you, Lisa, but
I have.
Okay, but when you're getting ready to transition out of the military, like oftentimes you're not going to take an assignment that has you on the front line. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not going to be in the thick of things. You're going to transition to a position that's kind of gives you the opportunity to truly transition, to slow down, to start making those steps into civilian life. And I didn't really see that in this book. I didn't see it in the character. And so I was like, okay, I don't know what these two are doing to each other or what kind of game they're playing, but it's not a good one. Like, that was my first thought when I read it.
Well, when he called her and she was talking about how he was going to be coming home, and he hesitated. And she recognized
when
that
she asked him what he was going to do, what was he going to do without his two buddies?
Right. I knew then that he wasn't coming home.
Okay.
Okay.
He don't want to leave.
So,
and she's pressuring him to do so.
Yeah. I mean,
but I wish he would have just communicated that to her.
I don't know. Part of me thought he really wanted to do it, and that he started to think as much as, okay, so I don't know. I kind of thought he might have been sincere when he first told her he was leaving, because he kept saying they keep trying to throw so many things at me to get me to stay. Like, I think that's one of the first things he says in their first conversation that they have in the book. And so I got this feeling of this high-level asset to the military, and the military thinking, we don't want to lose this guy. What can we offer him? Can we give him a signing bonus? Can we give him this? Sierra knows this. I've done my share for the military. I have dated as many Marines as I could because I felt the need to do my share for our country. And so I say that. I did my duty. I have dated some Marines. I've dated Marines who chose to get out. I've dated some Marines who chose to stay in. I dated some Marines who were stationed here and were probably not in danger of being sent very far away. I mean, I wanted to do the whole military wife thing and travel. It just never worked out. So I didn't have any bad feelings towards Tyler. Like, I honestly thought he was thinking, I'll get out. I love her. I'll get out. But then having that whole idea of, well, gosh, I've done so much in this career. And even the life that he was talking about did not sound like a life that was going to be sedentary in Los Angeles. And I don't know if anybody else thought that, but I kept thinking, this guy isn't living in Los Angeles. This guy's either going to be sent to D.C. to work for the State Department, or he's going to be sent overseas. He's an actor that's going to be flying all over the world. I kept thinking the life that she was thinking she was going to get with him home all the time was never going to exist. I've met that guy, and that guy's job sends him around the world and across the country all the time. He does not live at home 7 days.
I agree with you.
He just doesn't.
I agree with you, Michelle, 100%. Like, this is a man who loves being on the move.
He's going places.
And even if he transitioned out of the military and came back to civilian life, he would still get a job that had adventure and
him
kept him on the move because that's what he enjoyed. He enjoyed
that guy was
he
not
enjoyed
a Los
adventure. Yeah, he enjoyed it. And honestly, you know what else? And Lisa kind of touched on this, Michelle, and so did you. Like, if you're serious about one another, why haven't you had these really like deep conversations with one another? Yeah, about, you know, like they've been pretending to be their best selves for the 18 months they've been dating. Like, they hadn't dealt with any of the hard issues like, hey, you're losing a career you really love. You're leaving your battle buddies behind. You've lost people in the field.
She's not bothered by that.
Right.
She's not bothered by that. I mean, I dated a Marine who was an engineer, like couple degrees engineer, and when he decided that he was ready to leave the military, I remember, even though he was the one that was leaving, I remember saying to him, "You really want to get out now? I mean, you could go so far." And him saying, "Well, you know, I think that I want to do more things outside, and I don't want to be tied to one job. I want to have some control over it." So that discussion happened where he said what he wanted. So I understood that what he wanted was an engineering career that let him choose. He didn't want to be in a position where the military was going to choose for him going forward. But we knew that. And it never sounded to me like it concerned her that he would feel like he was losing something. And then at the same time, it felt like he was putting on a brave front. But I'm going to throw this one at you guys because since we're talking Tyler, let's just lay it out there. Did you feel like Kristen was cheating with Josh even before the breakup with Tyler?
I'm singing a song. Go ahead, Lisa.
Have I stumped you?
Well, my definition of cheating is not necessarily physical. It's emotional. And if we go by that definition, she definitely was cheating on Tyler because she was so into Josh, she didn't know what to do with herself. And she fought tooth and nail with her emotions, but she was still feeling them. And when he found out that there was like some danger to her and insisted on staying and she allowed it, I was like, "Ooh, that's dangerous, sister. I don't care if he touches you or not. You're definitely going to get attached to this man. And what you going to do when your man comes home?"
And she was honest about him staying there, which I thought was interesting. But Sierra, what did you think? Do you feel like he was cheating? I'll tell y'all what I think after I hear what you think.
Okay. All right. Y'all gonna be disappointed in me. I feel like I don't feel like she was cheating. She was in an entanglement. I learned that word this week from the Red Table Talk.
I'm done. Not the entanglement.
So I feel like, and I think that's different from cheating. I don't know because I haven't gone back to watch everything on the show. But I think that Kristen and Josh was in an entanglement. And
baby, that means they were cheating.
That means they were cheating. Okay. So now we know you thought they were cheating too. Okay.
So no, I said an entanglement.
Which usually means that things, if vines are entangled, they're all twined up in each other. So yeah, they were cheating. Don't sugarcoat this.
I tell y'all gonna be disappointed in me. I'm
so done. Not an entanglement.
Yes. And there's a difference. I don't know what it is yet, but there is.
Okay. We don't have to take you to the table next.
I won't lie. Okay, so I think I told Sierra I started the book on a Monday. And I started the book. I physically started the first chapter of the book on paper, then went back and restarted the book listening to the audiobook while I was doing stuff. So I did a tandem read. And I will tell you that when I got to the part right before the breakup with Tyler, I stopped reading for about a day or two. because I was concerned that she was cheating, and then I got to that point where I was like, I'm going to have to step away a minute before I can go there with her. Remember I told you I was concerned about whether or not I would like her?
Yeah.
And now you throw in the fact that as much as I love Josh, Josh was not her guy, and I'm really sensitive about the woman cheating on the guy who's overseas waiting to come home to her. I'm very sensitive about that. Maybe it's because of my years working for the military and having, unfortunately, seeing people who those things happen to. I was really, I kind of stopped for a day or two because I had to emotionally get over the hump of what I thought she was about to do. And then suddenly the way is made clear. But I felt like she was emotionally cheating, and she was. Say again?
Go ahead, Lisa.
I wanted to throw a little bit at you. When Tyler shows up unannounced, do you feel like she was cheating on Josh when she went out with Tyler?
I was like, what the heck is wrong with this girl? I honestly had that moment where I was like, wait, she's going? Like, wait. And the thing is, she didn't say to Josh, I need to talk to Tyler, but I'll be back. She did the I'll be back. And I was like, oh, Josh, you need to pick up your stuff and not talk to her anymore. Yeah, I was taken aback. I think that also compounded my feeling that she was cheating, because I'm like, you are so enmeshed in both of these relationships that you're cheating both guys out of the honesty that they probably both deserve. Like, I would have probably wanted her to say, I felt like she should have broken up with Tyler. She should have just said, Tyler, this isn't the life I want. And I got the whole idea of her being like, he's coming home in 2 days. I can't just break up with him. He doesn't have a place to live. Like, none of this stuff. Like, I could understand those things, but she never really said those were her reasons. And I kind of felt like, how do I say this without being mean to her? Because it's not that I dislike her, but I just kept thinking, how old is this girl again? Because I was trying to give her, I wanted to, like, give myself permission to forgive her for stuff that I thought was really dumb or really wrong. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It does.
So I want to go back to something Lisa said, because so Lisa mentioned the threat to Kirsten. To Kristen.
Yes.
She mentioned the threat. So I honestly felt like this was one of the lower points in the book for me, because I literally thought it was just a literary device to justify the character being, like, the hero being in the house with her, because there wasn't a real threat. And then once we found out who it was, like, it was over. It was done. That thread didn't tie to anything else in the book.
Nothing.
Anything at all, because I was intrigued to find out. I'm like, what is going on here? Like, is there a real danger to her? So that was, that was a little bit of a letdown. I felt like that was just thrown in just to bring them together, and that could have been done some other way, especially with it being a romantic comedy. That could have been done another way, because it didn't go anywhere. So that was just that was one of the low points in the book for me. As far as how she reacted when Tyler came home and she was already entangled with Josh, I would say,
Girl, if you don't stop saying entangled.
Right?
Entangled. I think I was kind of okay with it, because she didn't waver on I'll be back. She's like, I'll be back. Like, literally. And I get being a woman of few words. Let me go handle this fool who done showed up at the door. I'll be back for you.
That's not what she said.
I know she didn't say that.
And then she
but
stayed
that's
out.
what,
and then she came back with maybe
that's what
on
she
her
did.
lips. And I was like, wait, what? She came back with maybe on her lips. You remember?
I do. But she came back, and I'm telling you, first of all, let's not forget, she was very honest with Tyler about Josh staying there because of the threat. Now, I'm going to tell you something, and this is, again, a military wife. I know a whole lot of military men and women, and I'm sure Tyler does too. He could have called, sent out a helpline and said, my girlfriend got some troubles. would y'all please go ahead and help her? Let me know she's